I told you before, very wicked, obscurantist, mendacious media, and then, of course, a delusional and abrasive political class.
Greetings, my family. Welcome again to Direct TV, bringing you the truth. Welcome, my family, to this special and wonderful episode of my video today. Alright, in today's video, guys, I'm here with the man of God by person of the highly esteemed Reverend Dr. Chris Oyakhilome, DSc, DD. And in today's video, guys, you know that from 2020, the man of God, Pastor Chris, have been warning us on some certain things that have been going on in our world, and he has been exposing some key individuals that are at the forefront of perpetrating evil in our world, and one of them is Klaus Schwab. You see, Klaus Schwab is one of the people that are driving for the one world government, and part of the things and the population reduction issue that the man of God, Pastor Chris, have been talking about for a long time now. This video you're about to watch is a communion service, not a recent, that November 2023, that the man of God spoke about. So I wanted to post it as at that time, but I had to hold on. See, so I have to bring the video now to you. So before we dive into the video, guys, for those of you coming new to my channel, just kindly hit the subscribe button, subscribe, and then if you haven't liked the video up to this point, hit the like button, like to this video, guys. Watch this, I'll be right back.
I told you before that the perpetrators of COVID-19 haven't given up. It was a plan for taking over the world. And they got so close. That was their most, it was their best opportunity yet. And that's why they don't want to let it go. They want to keep us thinking COVID-19. And then, remember, for the first time, they were able to lock down the whole world. Even though they planned it, it surprised them that it happened so easily. It surprised them that it happened so easily. They had planned for great resistance, and they were planning to use the various armies of various nations, having already convinced government leaders that it was a necessity. And many government leaders, of course, were misled. You have to understand that this global agenda, global government agenda, which is carefully sponsored by a Europe-led revanchist dream, has created certain things in our world. It's actually a satanic alchemy for the one world government, one world economy, and one world religion that the Bible talks about very clearly. The Bible tells us how that in the last days that's going to happen, and tells us when it will happen, and gives us all the necessary signs for us to know. And this dream of global government has produced two important things that we need to be very watchful and careful about. Number one, it's produced a wicked, I told you before, very wicked, obscurantist, mendacious media on the one hand, a truth-evading technocracy on the other hand, and then, of course, a delusional and abrasive political class. Such that if you're observant, you'll see these characteristics that I just told you. This on the one hand. On the second hand is transhumanism, that is disguised as human augmentation. And I want to distinguish between the two, because many don't understand that there's a huge difference between transhumanism and human augmentation, which is a sort of human enhancement. Okay? Now, scientifically, you have those who are pursuing human enhancement, better known as human augmentation, which is a technological way of enhancing the mental or physical abilities of human beings. Okay? So they may develop different kinds of gadgets, different things to help the individual perform better. And that is pure science. You know, individuals, science leaders like Elon Musk and so on are into that one. They're trying to build these things, which is positive. But then there's another one, which is led today by Klaus Schwab, which is transhumanism. Transhumanism is not the same as scientific human augmentation. It's not the same. Transhumanism actually is a religion. It is a religion that believes that the human evolution is incomplete and that it should lead to this human augmentation by any or every means possible, including technology. And the drive is posthumanism. I want you to understand exactly what's going on. So that is actually a spiritual thing. And so they clothe themselves and deceive the public by making the public think that they are into science. They are not into science, they are into pseudoscience. And the earlier we understand that, the better. They're not the same. A simple example of these transhumanists, a gentleman who changed his name to FM 2030. That became his name. And why did he change his name to FM 2030? This guy was known as a genius. And here's an interesting thing. A guy who was called a genius by the world, okay, was called a fool by the Bible. He was called a fool. Why? He was acclaimed one of the world's most intelligent people. God called him a fool. He said, how'd you know? I'll tell you. But first, he changed his name to FM 2030, FM being his previous initials, okay, and 2030 for his surname. First, he said by the year 2030, he believed that the world will undergo tremendous changes, and there were going to be some massive alterations to human nature by 2030. By 2030, he was supposed to be 100 years old. And of course, he believed in posthumanism. As a transhumanist, he was expecting posthumanism as well. But he died a few years ago, didn't make it. All right? But he was an atheist. He was an atheist. And what does the Bible say about the atheist? It says, the fool says in his heart that there is no God. Every atheist is called a fool by the Bible. See, and that's the guy who was acclaimed a genius. Now, what we have to understand is what transhumanism really produces among human beings. It creates psychopaths. Now, because the characteristics of psychopaths, which I will give you in a moment, are such that they are actually things that are praised and recommended in their doctrine. They don't like us in the English language to use the term psychopath. So they say use sociopath. So that the problems of the sociopath can be taken down, lowered to a medical disorder. You see it? Interesting. They want it to be a medical disorder. So they say they're just some antisocial behaviors. It's a disorder. But no, these are psychopaths. And let me explain to you. These are persons with egocentric behaviors and particularly lacking remorse for wrongdoing, for injuries inflicted on others. You have to remember this. And an absence of empathy for other people. And then consider this. They are full and motivated by sadistic brutality. These characters. And all those things that I just told you now are actually what they recommend to their stooges. You see it? I have asked you again and again, how can people who have an ideology buried in population reduction, think about it, protagonists of population reduction, how can they produce, sponsor, and encourage to save the mass of humanity? Don't you get it? Can the same people who are advocating for massive reduction of population to the point of annihilating Africa and most of Asia and billions around other nations, you expect them to save these people? Are you kidding?
Alright, my family, there you have it with the man of God by person of the highly esteemed Reverend Dr. Oyakhilome, DSC, DSCDD. Now you've heard, the several things the man of God, Reverend Dr. Chris, have said in today's video, and it is important that you pay attention to these details. You see, and many people don't even know. You see, if not that, the man of God, Pastor Chris, opened our eyes to look at these things, we wouldn't have known. A lot of us ignored a lot of these things, but since the man of God, Pastor Chris, started pushing us, revealing to us, bringing us things, or exposing them for us to know the agenda, we also started going deep into finding out about our world, not just living like that and allowing some of these guys to destroy the world. You see, so I'm very much sure you are blessed in today's video. All right, just like the things the man of Pastor Chris have said. No, don't just listen to these things and then you think it's a lie, because definitely there are those that doesn't believe in these things. But I know for one day, just one day, when we check out of this place, when we check out of this world, all right, they will know that all the things we told them were truth. But in that case, prepare for the rapture. It's coming. It's coming. It's going to happen. Don't let anybody deceive you. Prepare your life. As much as these guys are trying all they can, but you yourself prepare yourself for the rapture of the church. Trust you are blessed with today's video, and I look forward to seeing my next video, guys. Don't forget to kindly hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Bye.